Hey, hello everybody. Good evening. Hope you had a good week. Yeah, hope you're ready for some charting. Let me check. I have a chart here. The stream does work. It does. Okay. And the sound seems correct. Perfect. Tell me if the music is too loud. But... all good. EM is here, Jenny is here, DM is here. Good to see you. It's on time. So last week I just ended. No, the plan was to long around 26,096 dollars, right? I was looking for fifth wave, was kind of unsure if the four was finished or not, but was looking for another leg down, right? That was the main idea, and it did work pretty well, right? We did not. I was ready to get a short if we, especially on Sunday evening as the pump was, if we had taken the highs here. Didn't manage to get an extra short here, but I took another profit and then, flip it into a long. This week was not necessarily extremely easy again to trade for an Elliott, but basically we just took liquidity down, liquidity above. It was really a hard pump here. I was just looking for a little more move up before getting into the short, while the short for me was still planned above the highs here at the end of the day. Nonetheless, I flipped back into a long again on the micro fifth wave here. No, I flipped to the says all the ones. Basic stuff. 5 waves down from the top, going too long the fifth wave. Ideally, I will want to see that sweep. That's where I had a bit more, but I didn't get. Anyway, that was flipping to a long. As I was saying yesterday to the crew, that's as a kind of structure which is really baiting for more downside. Through I was kind of happy to look for a long here, but approaching this based on a Elliott in mind, I was of course looking for some shenanigan into that range, but ultimately I would have liked to see another leg down, right? Which we didn't get as we squeeze up, as you know. But kind of classic behavior for Bitcoin, having this kind of clear corrective structure up, clear impulsive move down, and it end up going higher. It does that again and again. It's a kind of range you can keep in mind, because that's really often. So what's the count out of this? It's gonna get tricky. I'm gonna start with higher time frame, maybe even higher time frame here. The context did not change for me. Bullish bias as long as the low is not taken, September low is not taken. Looking for a bit more upside, either as a wave B because as we have a complete input structure here, well, we can again look for an ABC, right? But we also know that we have a flat alternative, right, on the sides in case that have been forgotten, where we are not looking for wave B, but instead we could be looking for much more, much more impulsiveness into new highs and potential continuation out of it. So why, yeah, being a bit bullish here make quite some sense to me, and we'll see how the things move depending how things move. If well, if a short makes sense at some point, well, it probably will, at least for a short quick one. We never know. If we start to see really big expansion, well, we'll probably have to consider this as a complete structure, and if the high get taken, well, that will be settled. Flat here, we don't need that anymore. That said, wave B can be sideways or corrective up. And with the move that we are getting here, we're still in between for a bit more bit lower time frame, right? We're gonna be, well, the same through process and for the higher time frame, as long as September high is not taken here, while we have a legit inputs down, and whatever this is can be a corrective move, and we can still come back into the lower liquidity, and we have now a lot more liquidity built below this lows, right? Well, because people started to buy back a bunch above here, especially spot one at that point, because derivative, it's, yeah, most of the open interest is wiped out inside the same week here. But you know, the one that where the spot zero down there after a bunch did come back at the high here. That doesn't mean it cannot continue, but we still have a very valid countdown. In pass, I know that was the plan, getting a corrective move into the upper monthly. Was unsure if we will be able to get up there if things were have been more a bit more bearish. Maybe the high from yesterday will have remained the high and will have continued down on that one, but things is still valid at the moment, and with a bit of them that we saw this afternoon, you know, it's getting back legitimacy. You know, we saw some bullish behavior into yesterday pump, especially with pounding staying very negative as we get into the high. But now position have been closed, funding is back into more neutral, so things are a bit more neutral again. I'm gonna flip to that chart. I think that's gonna be a bit clearer for that time frame. Well, whatever is the first leg. Hi, Quay. See you. So yeah, basically that, and we now have the 1-1 extension coming right along or a bit lower untested weekly level here, still at monthly open. Wow, that's gonna be soon previous month open because we are closing them on this weekend. It's a bit below POC of that range, so kind of still okay for us to grab liquidity here. But there is a potential for things to, well, continue upward. We cannot deny it. I think I made the count in the lower time frame here. I was trying to approach. There's gonna be insight. Yeah, insight shouting. But you know that kind of move. You have, you have a change of market structure consolidation. Well, the change of market structure really started here, but you know, it's just your change of trend here. Madness consolidation, another leg down and another leg down. So approaching this in a corrective way is a bit tricky. There is always a way, right? The idea that I had not that great, but you know, you will look for some kind of harmonic pattern. I'm not drawing it, but the nice 1-1 fib target, and we have this nice 1-1 fib target here with a 3-wave up, nice ABC structure, it's triangle, so ABC here, and a 5 down. So that's the way you can finish a corrective with 5 down into a higher low is with a running flat, right? So I can read a running flat here. Okay, but doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense with the rest, right? Now I did find something. Yeah, the idea was that basically some kind of WXY structure. So however you approach this, but probably some kind of ABC with an B as a flat in the middle and a C wave, classic down. You can redraw another way, but it doesn't really matter at that point. If you move down as a W, you have your corrective structure here in the middle as an X, and that flat at the end become a Y, which makes the end of the corrective here not at the low, but in a higher low. And that's gonna change the way we approach the upside here. If we are going for more upside. Now, not sure I'm a fan of that. I think it's better to just consider the low. Then we can force fit a flat that way. There's gonna be a very big wave B in that case. It's going through the standard target we look for, right? Take a look at a wave retracement. We are beyond the 161.8 retracement of the proposed wave A here. Nonetheless, at some point we have to fit something when price action shows away, right? Which is why I end up more with that as main count. For bulls or bear, right? Bear. That's a French way to always say bear. Consider this a A or the 1, and this as a 2 or a B, and then this as either a 3 or a C, right? And this can still be a valid way forward at the moment, the time that we had. If we start to go lower than what we made today, it's gonna give a lot more weight to the idea that why we made a top and we're going lower. If we manage to hold that low of today and break yesterday high, well, that's gonna shape it a bit more into an impulse structure that way, which gonna make me lead for something a bit more bullish. Now, with this kind of complicated structure, if it ends up being into a new high here, going into a new high, there's gonna be all the count. I'm showing you one here, so ideally that's gonna be just a fifth, and we come back again into consolidation, and in that case we can even come back below that low, right? At that point, the important thing is we take that high before that low, but if we come back later on, it's kind of fine, right? Because in that case we have an impulse structure and we can retrace anything as long as it is into a higher low and have a wave 1 and a 2 somewhere. But work on that if that happens, of course. But we could also still be in that third wave, right? Or for example, and that's gonna be a bit the same, but where am I here? Most likely we finish something here, right? That's okay. Now the question is that a third wave, or is that wave 1 of a bigger surge, and we are going into an extension and we can see acceleration then? And that's gonna work the same way if we consider you know, the WXY here. In that case, that become wave 1 and that becomes 2. So we can go into expansion. That's possible. My 2 cents say that we're gonna retrace everything at that point. But you see how it's behaving, so it's a bit 50-50 bet at that point. Well, 50-50. It's not 50-50 because you can take a position here. It's kind of sensible, right? Defending the low. With a target above this high for now, and keep the rest for continuation. If it go higher, you can have another take profit above the high here. But I think this is gonna fail. Well, it might get the first take profit and retrace, but I would really not be surprised if this gets stopped out indeed. Just that the risk reward here is not so bad because of the situation we are here right now, and that this low is kind of important to hold for the bull case, at least to that high. And if it fails, well, probably gonna either chop around or just have a bit more aggressive downside. That's my feeling. Hope all of that is clear. Has anyone taken a short? I am on short on Ethereum for this one. Hi. Nice. Well, I took back a short on the monthly, right? That was the plan. And yeah. I kept on that plan. I was really unsure during that consolidation, so I just, you know, didn't really take more profit on my long position remaining. But I got partially stop here, and probably fully stop if we get the low again on the long side. But yeah, that's pretty much where we are. Either we came back here, and you know, I'm not saying it's impossible we go down lower as well, but if we get back below this week low, I'm probably gonna be a buyer, right? Or at least I'm gonna be attentive and ready to buy. The volume has been interesting this way, but for now it's again an attempt that is looking like it's failing again. No, that's the kind of move, if that was really the low here, the low here, you already have your bull trap and bear trap here. And so after that, you rather want to see aggressive continuation than deep retrace like this. I don't know, it's meant to see how sentiment is, but yeah, choppiness suggests me that we're staying to consolidation here. I'm counting this last move as a WXY with 4 unfinished yet. 4 unfinished yet. What time frame are you talking about? I mean, maybe you're talking higher time frame. No, I don't think so. Locally. Oh, wave 4 unfinished yet. Okay. That wave 4 unfinished yet. Or is this as a WXY here? But how is it unfinished? I mean, it can extend into a triangle or a WXYZ, but not sure how you see it unfinished. Anyway, yeah, if I have to count this downside, ABC as a W, A or W or ABC, yeah, ABC, or WX and ABC as a Y. Well, again, that tries as not being very constructive. If we had CZs and a higher consolidation, then we can start to consider a 1 and 2 here. But you just have a squeeze, well, squeeze quote unquote, because there's not much squeeze, there's just no liquidity, right, on that move. I think, you know, you're pretty much squeezed down everything that was bought here and that move, that bullish move. Very negative founding, very big open interest growing, then there is take profit, so bull were still kind of in control here, able to close position at higher level while still maintaining a higher level, but then you kind of squeeze the late one. and then you go back up, but there's just no change on open interest, so that's just no liquidity, right? Well, there is still some spot buying, but now forming quite a bearish div. You know, spot CVD, you always hear, is it leading? Is it? Can we take the divergence into account? It kind of depends, right? But we see here there was really aggressive selling, so you can try to think, well, if there's so much selling, price not going down, and it is spot selling at a lower level, right? They started to sell, cause a downtrend, but now it doesn't move down anymore. Would if that to makes a bit of sense. And then you have spot starting to buy here. So based on that, as long as this hold, it's kind of fine. If the spot can continue to push price up, but can see that long have been taking profits. Position have been closed, and initially you have a nice move leading into some kind of squeeze, but then you have continuation of the buying, and it's just cannot manage to make any higher high. So we have now a CVD bear div. If the demand is sufficient and it continues to go up really hardly, well, at some point it's possible to go up. We probably need some kind of short building here to get a squeeze. Well, that things can flip pretty quickly, as you see here. The open interest was rather flat after the trap here, and it increased a bit late, right? At the same time that the aggressive spot buying came in. So far, it's kind of the same thing. Move up into kind of no liquidity, it grind up, it find excitement. Well, there is big position opening, find excitement, flip the long into a short, close the long, liquidate the others, and take profit on the short. That's kind of the idea here. The same here. So we can see at least some kind of relative strength here, in the sense, you know, if you think Wyckoff a bit, that all of that made that move up, all of that new open interest opening made that move up, and all of that open interest closing made that move down into a higher low compared to where it started. So here it means that the one that have been going long and taking profit on long are in profit, while the one that have been shorting, at least the average, right, the one that have been shorting here have been closing underwater at the loss. The average, of course, there's people that have been shorting here, been able to take profit, right? Some of us are, but it shows just relative strength, if we want. A bit like here, it's a bit more neutral, but you have more open interest closed into a higher low, so more effort down than up. But this kind of relative strength is a bit iffy, because most of the movement happen into a very tiny portion of the movement, or in a portion of the movement, not everything, just where it's positioned. Hi, Barbie. So yeah, I think we're going lower. Not so sure where I would take another short here. Well, I guess. Where is short? I guess it will be okay. Let's take a short again on the monthly with a stop here. If we get another move up here, maybe a bit prior to the monthly, can look at the 1-1 extension of that move up to wherever this ends. If we get it, not sure we'll get that. Yeah, receivable maybe to defend even that high. That would make more sense. Again, we have 3 wave up, 5 wave down. Do with that what you will. Maybe there's a short just here. The open. Let me think again a minute here. I can. Starting to look like over trading into end of week here. Maybe just a scalp here, you know, to maybe protect a long position from here, kind of. Not just volume is fat everywhere. URP here, okay. Yeah, maybe something like this. It's not. Well, I mean, there may be a scalp here, but I would not be surprised if we go higher. But I would not be surprised if it doesn't go higher, it just go from here. Where do you take your best risk-reward trades and have high confidence of at least take profit 1 and making sense into a risk-reward reflection. This should hold. We need that 29k, say 01. Hi, somebody, I cannot spell your name, but is that Greek? Okay. 29k. And whatever happened, that wave 4 will be taken out at 28. yeah, you're highly confident that this is gonna be taken. Yeah, it's kind of the same move like this, right? In the lower time frame, we have something very similar, a 3-wave up, 5 down. It's a bit more than 5 even. 5 down into a bull trap here. Grind up, a bit more choppy here. We can see this. Maybe we'll have the same kind of thing. Nonetheless, yeah, of course I agree there is a high probability that we get above this. I just don't know here right now for sure. Well, it's always the same thing with me, you know. I'm rarely sure of anything, and if I'm sure of something, you may want to counter trade me. Certainty, kind of the enemy of the wise one in trading. Not here, I get that. It's here. Along here, and again, the first take profit can have a second take profit here, and let the rest run to beyond. And if we, well, ideally here for the bull case, what I will see is that 5 waves, and we stay into some kind of consolidation over the weekend, maybe a bit early next week, and we can have some kind of simple 1-2 to trade here. Simple, kind of simple. Where these two gonna be, it's too early for me to say. Depend where the 5th finish. Well, we can do a projection here. The depthness of that 4, it's gonna be 61.8 at least. Yeah. And so, okay, we can, I guess you take the high of September at that point. And log 3.2, even maybe 2.36 here. Well, if we get that move, I will be looking 2.36, 3.2, golden pocket. I will have to, yeah, of course, try to see what happened here. If we have a structure liquidity here, we trap that might be enough. If it's getting retraced a bit more aggressively, well, we might get a bit more down. At that point, the weekly level would be testy. POC of the range. I will flip to the higher time frame. Forward at least here. 26,500. Where is? Wait a minute. Is my weekly correct here? Wait. Oh, that's the one here. See? Of course, that was the resistance. Yeah, nonetheless, it doesn't really matter here. just for the price, the POC and the daily auto block in this area is more important than the fact it is a weekly level. Just it split the thing pretty well. So yeah, higher time frame. Again, if we get that move, and here I'll be inclined to have give you some kind of trend like this. Let's project that just to see if that makes sense. And that one as well. Yeah. So it could behave like this. 1, 2, 3. Nice resistance. 4, 5. Liquidity here. So that's a TP. I mean, you know, TP, so depending on the behavior, etc., but something along this line. Well, that last one is obvious because what I want to emphasize for that, I would want to see a bit more move up first, and I don't know if we go that low, right? I might take a trade higher here. Still have a take profit the same here, but for now I don't know, right? Yeah, so somewhere, probably somewhere is a 3.2 or 2.36 retracement of the move up. That's a lot of things on my chart. Again, I like to get messy charts. At that point, that will be hovering a bit over and under the trend line, so we'll see. Yeah, we can have fake outs, come back and break. We can have a break and consolidation higher and just continue. And that might, in that case, continue a bit higher because where 3 target will be higher. Okay. Knowing that take profit here is always important because we don't know for sure it's gonna end up being an ABC move. Let me because this could be ABC, so we could go into a WXY and we could be going into an ABC, for example, and have a much shorter one, right? Doesn't mean that's gonna be, again, it doesn't even mean that's gonna be the end of wave B for sure, but it could come back into that range, get even more choppy and continue, etc. This can last for a long time, and there is liquidity at that level. That's a thing we know. One extension is just that for now the 1-1 extension is a bit in between nowhere, so not my favorite TV. Okay, I guess that's gonna be it for today, right? What else do we have? I was just looking a bit at the spot volume. We have the highest spike of volume on spot here since strength in this. And it is on this little candle. So, you know, pretty high volume for this tiny part, which is pretty much at resistance, right? That's the trend line resistance. But it's either a bull trap or some people will deep enough pocket that are buying resistance are gonna breach it, right? That can be two things. This kind of volume at the high. It depends how this resolve. For now, we have a bit of a move down, but it's still kept locally into a small range. But if it go down, well, that becomes the bull trap. If it continue up, well, that become just big buyer and volume keep coming here. That become big buyer just buying up supply. But it's a point of inflection right now. Also, why that can lead into more choppiness and even deeper choppiness. Okay, I hope everything was clear on that good word. I think that's gonna be the end of the stream if I don't get anything. I didn't really look much at stock today. Bitcoin seems to be doing its own thing. That update, yeah, was for the crew, so just can maybe make a bit of update for that. Was just the idea, an alternative count that I made here, because there is that count that is still very valid. A, B, C finished as a C. Was the possibility to have still a wave 4 for that C that I was pleading for as a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is starting to get a bit too deep for that idea. That's why I think if that's a count with a flat here, I think we have the C done. But we still kind of need to lose the 200 daily and that area here. You know, because this is important support, previous resistance support, but there's kind of two here. So right now in this area, it's in between, and I added an alternative count here, keeping this as an A, but instead of having a flat, I have B and a 1, 2, 3, 4, which allow us to retrace a bit more. You know, ideally, don't really want to overlap 1, but that's fine if it is just a weak, a touch of a weak, right? It is into the 50% retrace and still has support. So in that case, I can still see another leg, but starting to trade below 42, 4200, 41, 50. And then you open the door to just go back below and have some capitulation, which can put some weight on Bitcoin. That's why still good to keep an eye on. Because yeah, whatever happened here, if stocks start to drop 15%, it's gonna be hard for Bitcoin to go against the trend. It's possible. It can get inversely correlated. I think it's gonna be at some point. But you know, maybe your FB is here and you see your drop to 19k, which gonna be still very good buy if such a thing happens. This is a very interesting buy area. Nonetheless, or whatever, would just like this to continue first before going down and see. But at the moment, it seems that we have a bit of potential for a move to finish here. I can still see another move down, and that's it. And DXY seems to have a good top potential as well. I don't know, return of a bit of bullishness makes sense in that context. But if DXY go for a new high, well, I will have to rework on all of that count again, because it's gonna start to get very extended here. The fifth is already a bit overextended. But yeah, mid-time frame count on DXY and as always. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I don't see any question. No, nothing. So on that good words, I can wish you a good weekend and see you all very soon. Take care.